Bob Alveston. It's very good to meet you, sir. You've responded to some of my letters in the very beginning of your office. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Who are y'all with?
This is Indivisible.
Yeah, good.
It's a whole bunch of different.
It's a lot of
I was in Crossville, Tennessee today, and there were a number of Indivisible people at the luncheon I was at, and they asked a lot of great questions. But
we have so many concerns.
Yeah.
When are you going to put Trump in jail?
Healthcare, Russian collusion,
Healthcare.
we, we've got a great Senate Intel Committee with Mark Warner, who's a Democrat, a great friend of mine, and Richard Burr. I think that is the very best place for this investigation because they have instant access to classified documents.
Independent investigation. Yes. That's the only way it's going to be done.
Yeah. Well, here's what I've said.
It's not going to be done by a Republican-controlled Congress.
It can't.
It's got to be an independent prosecutor. You know it as well as I do.
Yeah. So we have Mark Warner, who's a Democrat and a good friend, who I check with each week.
They've been slowed down.
Well, they're actually not being slowed down, and I check with him each week to ensure that it all is going as it should. And I've said publicly, and I'll say to you, if at any point I feel like that process is not working in the way that it should, I'll look for another avenue to, or support another avenue. But I really do think it is the right place for it to occur, and I think they're doing the job in the way that they're supposed to. The House piece.
Can I ask you a question, Senator? The FBI has been investigating since last July.
Right. So that's
the Russian involvement.
Yeah.
Really
My God, how long does it take?
Yeah.
Really?
Of course, look how many.
It took them 24 years to investigate the FIFA on the soccer.
Yeah.
24 years. I mean,
Well,
how
let
long
me
does
just
it take?
Yeah. So let me just mention. So we had after the 9/11.
Did you ask Jim Comey to kind of pick up
Is
the
there
pace?
somebody here that asks questions?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
How do you feel about tax transparency?
Town hall.
Is there any chance of getting a tax transparency requiring tax disclosure?
Yeah, look, there isn't one on running for president, as you know, and I think to do that retrospectively is
Why? Oh, well, it
it's
can
not
all
gonna
be cleared
happen.
up. All of it can be
It's just not.
cleared up.
And
I
subpoena.
know.
All he has to do is show it.
You know, one of the
It's
things.
that simple to wipe this slate clean.
One of the things that happened in my first meeting this week is there were a group of Indivisible folks there, and it was great. It was in Arlington, Tennessee. But in the beginning, I was there like an hour and a half. I tried to answer questions, but people kept interrupting. And all I would say to you is, look, I meet with people of all walks of life nonstop. I'm very accessible. I ride my bike around the community. I mean, I'm not somebody that hides behind folks. I would just give you a small piece of input from me, and that is elected officials are more than glad to answer questions, but it's best if you don't interrupt and hiss and all those kind of things.
Stop telling lies. We've been waiting for a town hall. Well,
Like I
everybody's
just
been
mentioned,
waiting to have
so,
a
yeah,
town
so.
hall where we really can address it. Right now, we recognize you're going to be gone in a few minutes, and people are wanting to get questions in. A town hall would allow us to have all these questions.
Can I ask a really dumb question?
Sure. None
Are
of them
you
so-
real? This is really dumb.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you like seriously, sincerely, like comfortable with the administration in the White House?
So, look, I think the administration, as I'm going to say in here right now, I had concerns about foreign policy. I'm chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, and I don't have and didn't have the same view of Russia as the administration did coming in. But I have seen them evolve in a positive way. I'm just being honest. I've seen them evolve to a much better place on Russia. I've seen them. See, but I mean, this is what I'm saying. This is not the way people generally talk with each other. Okay.
We have to have a back and forth
About healthcare, which there's no way you can.
Well, but see, you won't let me even answer. And
Go ahead, answer it.
I think the reason that people resist the kinds of meetings that you're talking about, in every meeting I've had this week, I think indivisible people have been there.
All right.
But I think the point is that a lot of these meetings have been set up in a manner that you don't really allow people to answer questions. There are interruptions. It's rude. I'm not interrupting you. I'm waiting, but But back to this, I've had concerns about the foreign policy component, and I really feel like they are evolving into a very good place. I had concerns about their view of things like Syria. I had concerns about their view of Russia. I had concerns about some of the things that have been said about China. I actually see them moving to a place that I'm very, very comfortable with, and I think they have a national security team that is crackerjack. I mean, they're very good. General Mattis is outstanding. Rex Tillerson has turned out to be incredible. I'm really proud of some of the things that he's doing. General McMaster, who's head of the National Security Council, he's outstanding. So they have some good people, and in my opinion, they are really getting to a place that I love on foreign policy.
Can I ask you a question?
Thank you for answering that.
How come they didn't know where the ships were at, the warships, but they said they was going towards North Korea when they was 3,500 miles the other way?
That certainly was a misstatement.
2 weeks later, they're still
I
out there.
assure you, Mattis knew where they were.
Oh, he didn't either. He went along with
You were talking about some of your, I know you're on a time schedule. You were talking about some of your concerns with some town halls, and I'm a student at Maryville College, and I was working with President Bogart on setting that up, and we had made concessions where it would be moderated, and it would only be students that would be asking questions and stuff. So I'm curious why that town hall never happened.
I have no idea.
We were told that you didn't have time in your schedule, which is, I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
You're concerned about. Yeah, I know you want to talk with constituents, and I appreciate you coming out here and talking with us. But if you want that kind of environment, we offer that kind of environment. And
well, and so I have no idea about a town hall that was set up or not set up. I don't know any details about it. But I am here right now, and I am answering questions, and I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be doing the same thing tomorrow morning at 7:30, and I'm going to be in Oak Ridge. Yes, ma'am.
First, I'd like to say I do appreciate some of the work that you do, especially on addressing
Modern
the human
slavery.
trafficking issue. I have some questions for you about the bill that you have introduced to allow people that have zero options in their state marketplace.
Sure.
Okay. So I would just like to preface that with Tennessee's marketplace is where it is because the state did not implement the law as written. But I read your press release, and I've looked at the plans that are available.
Right.
And while it's nice that you can apply, that you're trying to get us to be able to apply our tax credit to non-marketplace plans, the plans are subpar. If you are a single woman, you cannot buy maternity coverage. There's no insurer, no private insurer in Tennessee that will ensure that I could find in hours of digging through all their details online, the Tennessee Farm Bureau, and the few that still sell plans in Tennessee, that will sell maternity coverage to a single woman. They have a pre-existing condition exclusionary period. The costs are astronomical. I mean, what? It's great to apply the tax credit, but it's not great if you're getting garbage for your money.
Exactly.
Yeah. So well, look, I never said that was the solution to the problem. What I said is that we have a group of people in Knoxville, Tennessee, in particular, that don't have a plan that they can apply their credit to, right? I mean, that's a fact. And so as a stopgap, I'm not saying this is a solution, but as a stopgap, we'd like for people who are getting a tax credit to be able, if they can't find a plan on the exchange, to try to find one off the exchange.
Right.
And that's all. In the interim, I mean, that's just an interim deal. The problem, we got to solve the problem.
Yes, and
so that's, but don't think that I think that's the solution to the problem.
I do have a follow-up though. Part of why the marketplace is in the situation it is because instead of repealing the law, parts of appropriations have been kept away. So risk corridor appropriation went away, and the cost sharing benefit appropriations went away from insurance companies. And many companies have stated that was their reason for leaving the marketplace as they did. Because in states that didn't expand Medicaid, the pool that's on the marketplace is often sicker because people who would have been on Medicaid are not.
That's right.
And then because Congress voted to deny appropriations to continue the risk corridor payments back to companies who could prove that they ran at a loss, and deny the payments back to pay the companies back for the cost sharing that they paid to people on silver plans.
Yeah.
That is causing the
Now,
losses.
first of all, thank you for being so knowledgeable. Okay. As I understand it, the administration is looking at continuing the cost sharing component. Is that not correct?
No,
I think,
well, I'm talking about if you fall within a certain level, in addition to your tax credits, the insurance companies, as the law is written, have to assist you with lowering your max out of pocket for the year, so you would pay a lower copay.
And that's the piece, though. Aren't they considering extending that right now?
To my knowledge, it's not being funded right now. It's not being paid.
I think the administration is actually looking at making some changes in a couple of the areas you're mentioning to keep the program going until it can be reformed. I could be wrong, but my understanding is I've been on recess for a week and a half. I was in Uganda, and then I've been traveling across the state. But I think that they are looking at ways of trying to mitigate some of the problems you're talking about. But thank you again for knowing so much about it.
Well, Senator, yes,
Okay.
I mean, one reason I know so much about it is my son was born with a pre-existing condition, and I'm terrified that we won't be able to get insurance for him.
I can
What do you plan to do about pre-existing conditions?
I spend hours at night.
anything
looking
that
into this.
happens is going to include coverage for pre-existing conditions.
Right on.
But access isn't affordability,
Right.
and that's the big
Okay,
problem.
Okay,
You
well,
can
let me
have
say this.
that.
So I agree with that. And I thought that one of the flaws with the initial House bill was that, whereas right now in Knoxville, people are getting a subsidy, but they don't have a plan that they can buy. So that's like having a bus ticket and no bus.
Right.
That my friend Alexander uses as the problem with the way things are moving on in the House, you were going to end up with a bus but no bus ticket because you couldn't afford it. So we've got to resolve that, and I agree.
Exactly,
And
okay.
so-
You know, in other states had that issue, and they were able to work with providers. No legislation was needed. Arizona had that issue. Alabama had that issue, and they were able to work with providers and bring them in without any new legislation. So I would hope that